have been literally babysitting Facebook Marketplace because I want to redo a dresser to have a mirror dresser. I've looked in the stores, the furniture stores, they're high as hell. I can bump that. I can do this. I woke up today and there was one somebody had available for pickup that is free. So I am on my way to a U-Haul store to get a U-Haul because it ain't gonna fit my car, to pick up the free dresser. So come along on this journey as I redo a dresser to my liking and make it a mirror dresser. Okay? So I just picked up my U-Haul, and when I did my reservations, I picked a U-Haul place that was closer to the pickup place for the dresser. So the pickup place is like 5 minutes away from U-Haul. Cool. When I did the reservation, my mind frame was, if I just get a U-Haul that has the ramp, I'll be able to get it off when I get home. So I got this smallest U-Haul. It ain't got no ramp, which is not an issue for pickup because the person that I'm getting it from had put in a post, I can load it. I confirmed, they gonna load it. Cool. Now when I get it home, I don't know, because I thought I had a ramp. I was just gonna push it down this ramp. Now I gotta call my mama, hear her mouth, and hopefully she come help me get it off. Stay tuned, because I gotta figure that part out. Okay, so I got the dresser in my garage. Thank God I pulled up, you know, I don't have a problem asking nobody nothing. And I seen this man taking his trash and was like, hey, can you help me real quick? Very helpful. He helped me get the dresser off so my mama ain't gotta come. I ain't gotta hear her mouth. It is free. Very nice family that gave me the dresser. It has a mirror, but I didn't need the mirror, so it's on the U-Haul. They gave me a rug, some wine glasses. They wanted to give me a recliner. I don't need nothing but the dresser, but very nice family. So we shall see how this transition works. Stay tuned. All right, so step one is I took the knobs off. But now that I think about it, I don't know why I took the knobs off without taking the drawers out first. Nonetheless, for whatever reason, I took the knobs off first. So you'll see me taking the knobs off of all 9 drawers. And then after taking all the knobs off, I removed the drawers. Again, backwards, but hey, whatever. So as you can see, now I start taking out the drawers. Because I took off the knobs first, you see I have to push it from the inside. Step 2 is I begin to clean the dresser. Because this was pre-owned, I took a lot of time to clean the dresser thoroughly. I am terrified of bugs. So I removed everything. I wiped it down. I sprayed it with bleach, Clorox wipes, and I even sprayed it with bug spray and let it sit outside for a day or two just to make sure there was nothing in there that I didn't see. Though I didn't see any bugs or anything odd when cleaning it, I just wanted to be sure because, again, I am terrified of bugs. So scrub it up, dub, getting the dresser clean, making sure that the surfaces are clean for when I begin to start painting. This is the bug spray that I mentioned that I used. I sprayed all cracks and crevices just to make sure there was nothing in there harvesting that I did not see. I let that sit outside for a day or two before I begin the next step of painting the dresser. All right, so let's take a trip to Lowe's. Everything that I use for this project I got from Lowe's: metallic paint, the glass mirror tops, and the caulk squeezer thingy, whatever that is called. Jeffrey here was a lifesaver throughout my entire project as he was very helpful. Okay, now let's start with the painting. As you can see here, I begin to spray paint the drawers in the metallic paint that I picked up from Lowe's. The main thing that I'm looking to spray on each drawer is the front trim and then the borders along the drawer, so that when you pull out the drawer from the mirror, it will match the actual front part of the dresser. There's a total of 9 drawers, so I begin to spray each one of them, and I did about 1 coat, let it dry for several hours. I believe at this point I let it dry overnight, put the next coat on, and then let that dry for several hours. This entire project only took me 1 can of spray paint. So it took me quite some time to spray all 9 drawers. I noticed as I was spraying that there were light spots and dark spots. It was probably because of how fast I was moving the can of spray paint across the surface. So before I was finished with that final first coat, I would go back and kind of make sure that those were the same shade throughout, so that when I came in with the second coat, it would be even all the way around. So this step took me quite some time, just because that's a lot of drawers, y'all. But I got it done. Whew. So I'm finally done with the first coat on the drawers. Now I move to the dresser. As you can see here, I am rubbing the surface to determine if I should sand the dresser before I begin spray painting it. Ultimately, I decided not to. After putting on the first coat, I kind of regretted that decision, but hey, I was already in it, so I kept it moving. So I'm going to begin to spray paint the front of the dresser. The spray paint will be used on the front, the bottom, and then the trim along the top and the sides only. Everything else will be covered in mirror. So again, I put on a thick coat, and then I let that dry overnight and came back and put on another coat. It got a little stinky in my garage, so you'll see I began to spray. I took a pause because I had to open up that garage because I think I was getting a little high from the spray paint fumes, but I got it together, got everything sprayed, and let everything dry overnight. Spray, still spraying. That spray dust was everywhere. It was all over my house shoes, all over the ground. There's a mark in my garage now with the paint from where the dresser sat. It was all over the top of the dresser, which didn't really make a difference because I was covering that anyway, but that spray dust was no joke. Still spraying. It took me quite a while to get that first coat on, just because it doesn't look like it, but this dresser is really large in size, or at least it is for when you're spray painting it. So just to give you a bit of a background on this project, it took me about a week to complete in full, and that's because I took my time and I did everything in phases. So as I mentioned, there's a total of 9 drawers. Out of the 9 drawers, 4 of them are the same size on each side of the drawer. The 2 big ones in the middle are the same size, and then across the top, those are the same width but not the same length. So I made separate trips to Lowe's when I began to put on the mirror glass, getting each set according to the sizes of the drawers. So like I said, it took me about a week. As you can see now, first coat is on. It's a little blotchy. This is when I was like, maybe I should have sanded. But oh well, girlfriend, you in this thing now, so keep it moving. So I'm gonna let this dry overnight, and then I'll come back and do the next coat. Boom, it's the next day. I done already started putting some mirror glass on a couple of things. and I have a few that I saved to show you how I did. The coat has been put on the dresser, so that's 2 coats in, and now I'll begin to put the mirror glass on. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, the worst part was this caulk and this gun thingy. I guess I just don't have enough hand strength because I struggled getting that caulk out of that tube. Like every time I had to use it, I dreaded it. So you'll see me here having to use double hands because it was just so hard for me to get out that I struggled. So I ended up putting caulk on the actual drawer and on the back of the mirror glass to ensure that it held as I needed it to. And I used the Gorilla Glue kind that was recommended for wood and mirror glass so that everything would stick for the long haul. Jeffrey at Lowe's taped up that mirror glass to make sure it was on there securely. Do you hear me? Because I got nails and I was struggling to get it off. So once I got the tape off, I began to put the caulk on the back of the mirror. I ended up taking it over and sitting it upright and doing it and bringing it back. So now I'm ready to put the actual mirror glass on the front of the drawer. When I first place it down, I'm able to adjust it and kind of move it to make sure it's centered within the trimmings before I push down on it to secure it. After I get it to my liking and I get it pressed down, now I need to put some heavy weight on it, which I ended up using whatever was in my garage with some weights, a bag of charcoal. Whatever I had out there is what I used. I don't know why I used that extension cord or whatever that thing is. It wasn't even heavy. Nonetheless, it worked out. So then I let that sit to dry overnight for the following day. I repeated those same steps for the other drawers. Even with this ridge drawer, there's slight pieces that stuck up, but once I put the weight on it, it worked out. So now I'm putting the caulk on the back of the mirror glass for that ridge drawer. You see me struggling again with that Caulk Gun. Yeah, I hated that thing. Truth be told, I took it back when I was done with the project. It was just too much. Okay, so boom, we making progress. I went ahead and put all the caulk on the back of the mirror glass. Now I am putting it on the actual drawer. As you can see, this drawer has ridges on the front. So I have put a lot of glue on the drawer and the mirror because I wanted to make sure that it would be attached to those higher pieces, because obviously the ridges that went down is not going to be attached to anything. So I saturated this with glue, even though I was struggling with that goofy gun. Once I got all the caulk on there, then I went ahead and put the actual mirror glass on there. And I needed some heavy weight because, again, of the ridges, I wanted to make sure that the mirror glass adhered to those top pieces securely, since it was not a flat surface. I don't know what I thought that little bag of charcoal was going to do, but hey, it worked for the time being. Okay, so at this point, all of the mirror glass has been applied to all 9 drawers. It has dried overnight, and we are going to begin the steps of putting the knobs on. So you'll see me cleaning the surface with just some Windex to make sure I have a clean surface before I begin the steps of applying the knobs. All clean. All right, so now we are ready to start measuring to place the knobs where they need to be placed. I'm not gonna lie, this is one of the steps that I definitely dreaded doing. I didn't want to measure. I just wanted to stick the knobs on there and everything would line up perfectly. But obviously, I had to take my time and actually measure, which I did every single drawer to make sure that they would line up accordingly once I put all the drawers in the dresser. So here you see me measuring to make sure that I have accurate middle measurements for the knobs. I purchased my knobs from Amazon. They came in a package of 12, which was the exact amount that I needed. And I paid about $10 for the package, so it wasn't bad at all. Since I had got the dresser used, I decided that I was going to line the drawers with drawer liners. I purchased these sticky back drawer liners from Lowe's as well. It came in a roll, so I measured each one. I kind of eyeballed it. I didn't use a measuring tape, but I used it as a template to cut out more pieces for the other drawers that were the same size. So before I applied the liner to the drawer, I cleaned it thoroughly with Clorox spray. Just to ensure that the surface was clean and free of any debris. So I lined each drawer according to size using, like I said, just eyeball measurements. So it may be a little off, but I wasn't measuring nothing else after I had to measure each drawer for those knobs. It was just too much for me. So you'll see here, I kind of trim it up with my scissors just to kind of get rid of some of that extra, but each drawer was completely lined. I repeated these same steps for each drawer with the lining of the drawer and putting the knobs on. So each drawer is now finished and we are ready to move on with the next step, which is applying the mirror glass to the sides and the top of the dresser. As you can see here, the dresser is now in the house. So I decided to lay the dresser on its back in order for me to get the sides on to make sure that they did not slide, because the sides will only be covering up the brown part that you see in the picture. That bottom base area, the mirror glass is not a part of that, nor is it a part of the trimming. So I needed to make sure that it was flat so that I could prevent it from sliding in any way. Y'all see I'm still struggling with that caulk gun trying to get the adhesive out. Almost done with the project and still got to use both hands to get it out, but I'm working with it. As you can see, I put it on both sides, the dresser and the glass, and I'm just going to flip the glass up. Once I get it placed how I want to get it placed, I bought clamps to use to keep it in place until it was fully dried, just to prevent it from sliding, as I mentioned before. I repeated this exact same step on the other side, letting the sides dry overnight. And just like that, the sides are on and we are ready for the final step of putting the mirror glass on the top. For whatever reason, I didn't record me applying the mirror glass to the top. It was done in two pieces. This picture right here shows where I put the heavy objects on it to dry overnight. And boom, just like that, we have a finished dresser. I'm not gonna lie, I patted myself on the back for this one, you guys. I'm pleased with the finished product. It took a lot. There's some things that I learned along the way, but overall, I'm excited for my new dresser. Again, something that I got free off of Facebook Marketplace and made it my own. Make sure you tune in again next time for my next DIY. Who knows what it'll be? I'll probably come up with something, so come back and check me out.